Hello and welcome my Intentional Attention ASMR collective. Today I have a video where I wanted to share with you the process by which I make buttons. And these are small tiny 1-inch buttons or 1-inch pins that you would get for like a band or an art project or something, or a website. And today I wanted to share with you this experience because when I was doing it at home, I realized that there are some very unique and tingly sounds that kind of exist only during the time that we make buttons. Now I started out with a couple of the sort of typical triggers. Obviously the scissors on paper is a pretty common one, and even using the paper cutter is fairly common. But when we get to placing the rings and the plate into the actual button maker, you will see how unique and tingly those sounds really are. Now, before we get into it, I would say that it's pretty obvious I like to create things, right? I mean, that's kind of a given, being that I put so much time and energy into the Intentional Attention ASMR channel. And part of living in the physical world is being able to create things for my friends' art projects. So what you're looking at right now are two, let's just call them proof of concepts for different designs that some folks had already as an idea. I take those designs, move them into Photoshop, and create basically the 1-inch button template. When the template is created and finished, you'll notice that there is a round section, and that represents where I'm going to cut it. So to cut the buttons perfectly so that they align inside of the button maker, I need to use this punch. So the way that I use the punch is I carefully line it up so it's right in the center, and then I pull the red lever off to the right hand side down all the way. And what that does is that forces a metal piece in the middle to slice through in quite literally a perfect circle. Now of course once that's done, I push from the bottom, which is another very unique and tingly sound, and that pushes the paper out. And when I'm done with all of them, I then have the circular piece that we will use as the graphics for the button. Now, in order to use the button maker, I first put the face plate inside. I then use the paper cover and cover it with a plastic round centerpiece. And that goes in what is the left-hand side of the button maker. Then in the red bin, you will see a series of rings. Those rings are what allow the compression to occur when the button is pushed down and actually made. So here we go with the first push. Okay. Move the other section over and push the ring down. And what that makes is the final product, the button. Now we'll do a few other things to it too, and I just wanted to show you kind of up close maybe the design that's there that this person had. Now, because these are proof of concepts, you will notice that it was not perfectly aligned in the center. So we're going to do a little bit of experimentation here to see if there was one template that maybe was better than another. The only differentiator and the only thing that was different in troubleshooting that is that I had sent these to a local Office Max store in order to have these printed. So it's obviously not the punch, because the punch lines up perfectly with the button maker itself, and so it wouldn't make the paper part any bigger or smaller. However, the print maybe around that could be different. So I show you the second iteration here, and sort of put that off to the side. So So the idea is then that you continue this process going from faceplate, paper, and then plastic top, which gives it that glossy protection that you're used to seeing, and then putting the ring in the other or the right hand side. Starting then with the left hand side, compressing it down, lifting up, moving over to the ring, pressing that down, and then getting what is the final button. So that is the one. Looks like we're going to do one more button. So I'm sort of picking up the speed now. You can tell I'm starting to get into regular mode here of just getting this stuff out. Because I'll do 2 or 3 dozen at a time, depending on what sort of show we're doing, or what sort of event, or what sort of project these are for. Now, again, these are just proof of concept, and what I mean by that is it's just kind of getting the idea out there and making sure that it meets the expectation of all of the people that are involved. And really, a lot of times I just do this for free, and so if they don't like it, I won't do, a big bunch of them or something like that. Now we'll get again to the practical nature of it as I start sort of the second design that we're doing, which is this kind of melancholy face. And what I was given was just simply a white background. So to accommodate for that and to make it sort of easier with the punch, I put a gray background on. And in hindsight, that probably was not a very good idea, because now when I'm lining up the paper, I need to do it by eyesight with slight nudges in between that allow me to get a more accurate punch. And because I had previously shot this and now I'm, making the commentary on it, I realized kind of right in the middle that was probably not the best idea to do. And just because somebody starts out with a white background does not mean that it's going to be impossible. It just simply means that we should have probably left the original template background on there. Now, what I truly think happened, just between us, is I think that the print itself was either made more shallow, like smaller, or it was misaligned when I sent it off to Office Max. I'm not saying they didn't do a good job. I'm just saying that maybe there was some sort of checkbox that I didn't look at when I was sending it on their website that allowed them to resize it. Normally, if this was just a regular picture or poster, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. However, because this relies on things being very accurate and very precise, it is very important to have the graphical image lay directly in the middle. And as you'll see, these actually get a little bit off from the center. So again, same process. The ring is in there. The faceplate, paper, and plastic is being used now. I move the bin over to the right, punch it, and there is the final product. So I show it to the camera. So again, it doesn't look bad. It actually looks really great. And that glossy, filter, that plastic piece that's over it, is a very, very important aspect that makes it look super, super pro. So I do another one, and then I sort of realize that was I'm not going to move forward with this particular batch. However, I'll print them out, and maybe I'll print them out at home, or what I'm used to. It's just part of the evolution of who I am, to try new pieces and try new ways to present, art into the world, as it is with this kind of rambly sort of ASMR video that I'm doing right now. So the final piece is to put in these little copper pins that allow you to pin them somewhere. I often sometimes too will use magnets on the back if I want to put it on a refrigerator, or maybe like a guitar case or something like that. So that's the end of my saga. I'm going to leave you today, my friend, sending you light and love and positive energy. I'm now going to rerun the video without commentary and at the proper and original sound and the volume that it was. If you're not a subscriber, please hit the subscribe button. I love you so much, and I'll talk to you soon.